What is going on, Pats Nation? It's Patriots Global back here with another video, and in this one, we're coming at you guys with some good news. Finally, it seems like as of late, the Patriots have kind of been up and down between good news and bad news and whatnot, but finally, on the brighter side of things, Patriots running back Sony Michel has finally returned to practice after being on the PUP list for the past few weeks, really ever since training camp happened. He hasn't been able to practice at all yet since he's been recovering from foot surgery that he underwent this offseason. He was able to return to practice on Wednesday, which was his first day back, so that was today. By the time you get this, though, it will be Thursday, so yesterday. So we'll just have to see if this is something that can continuously happen. I think something that must be mentioned, though, is that Wednesday, which was the day that he first returned to practice, it wasn't, full-on contact. It was just shorts and shells. They didn't actually have pads on, so it was more so 70% into practice. This wasn't, a 100% full go like the Patriots have been doing with practice over the past few days. So we'll have to monitor it and see, okay, is he continuously going to practice, and is he able to attend practice when they're going at 100%, when they have full pads on and whatnot. I also have not heard anything that officially takes Sony Michel off of the PUP list. Again, the physically unable to perform list that he's been on, that Lamar Miller's been on. So I think that's also an interesting aspect that we have to keep an eye on. Usually when a player returns, it is an indication that they're going to be taken off of that. But again, nothing has been 100% confirmed yet. Now, again, we all know that Sony Michel started on the PUP list for the Patriots training camp and is really just getting himself into things, which is pretty late. The Patriots are going on their second week, I believe, now of training camp, so a little bit behind of these other guys, but he went under a foot surgery this offseason, kind of seemed more like going in and cleaning up and whatnot, and like I mentioned, he spent the rest of training camp and the offseason really trying to recover. And I believe that this is now his second or third surgery that he has gotten since the Patriots drafted him, which is pretty concerning. Of course, it's also sad at the fact that this is the third consecutive season, or off-season, I rather should say, that Sony Michel has missed training camp. All because of injuries, all because of having to get surgeries and whatnot. Yes, in the end, it is good that he's doing this during the offseason and not having to miss time during the regular season, but still, for a young guy who's only in the third year in the league for his NFL career, that is a concerning aspect. The Patriots were lucky enough to have Sony Michel be healthy completely for the entire season in 2019, which I think we can all agree was pretty surprising after he missed a few games, especially the start of the regular season in his rookie year in 2018. The thing here too is that this offseason, it's not the same thing that he's had issues with the past two offseasons. The past 2 years, he has missed training camp due to knee injuries, and this year it was due to a foot injury. So really there hasn't been too much to be said about Sony Michel, especially today. Like I said, this was more of a pretty mediocre practice. Nothing was really happening, so no news was really going around about Sony other than, hey, he returned. But from what was being reported, he looks smaller. He looks like a thinner version of himself. He looks like he lost some weight. And I think that is something that the Patriots really wanted Sony Michel to do. I believe he was sitting at around the a little over 200 pounds, and they want to get him back to that college version from what I'm hearing. They want to get him back to what he was in Georgia, hopefully making him that more shifty and faster, elusive version of Sony Michel. As we all know, Sony brings all right speed to the running back group, especially for being the Patriots' primary running back, but he's not the fastest running back right now on the Patriots depth chart. That is easily Lamar Miller, and that's the thing that separates Lamar Miller from any other running back the Patriots have, is that he has the ability to put it into second gear when it comes to his speed and his agility. I think we've seen many times with Sony Michel over the past couple of seasons that if he was just a little bit faster, it really could make the world of difference for the Pats. Because really, Michel is kind of at a weird standpoint. He's not a full-on trucking, big boulder type of running back. He's not a Derrick Henry. He's not a LeGarrette Blount, but he isn't also the super fast type of guy. He's not like a Tevin Coleman. He's not a Christian McCaffrey type of guy. He kind of was oddly sitting in the middle of the two, and it looks like he's trying to get more to that elusive, speedy type of running back, as again, he is looking thinner and look like he dropped some weight. Michel has definitely played a pretty pivotal role in the New England Patriots offense since drafted in 2018. Of course, his rookie year, he played a pretty great season, especially for a rookie. Nobody expected him to play as well as he did. Again, didn't even play a full season, only played about 13 games, had 209 rush attempts for 931 yards. So if he was able to play the entire season, I think we all agreed that he would have eclipsed 1,000 yards, along with 6 touchdowns and a long run of 34 yards. He was also a big guy that helped the Patriots move the chains as he eclipsed 73 first down runs. In 2019, he was able to stay fully healthy, and because of that, we all expected much bigger things coming off of that 2018 campaign. Sadly, we didn't get that. But Sony Michel, for the second consecutive season in his NFL career, was able to eclipse over 900 yards. So he appeared in all 16 games. He had 240 rush attempts compared to the 209 he had his rookie season for 912 yards. So, despite having more carries, despite playing more games, his stats for yards did go down, but he did have 1 extra touchdown. He had 7 in 2019 compared to the 6 in 2018. His yard per average definitely took a pretty big hit, and that was clear. That was 100% clear if you were able to see him play, being able to just not get around defensive players, not being able to get around the offensive line. And we already talked about, hey, the issues with Michel, some of it were on him, but a big reason was that a guy like Michel, sadly, he relies on his blockers heavily. A good offensive line, good blockers in your tight ends and your receivers, and all around the offense, the Patriots just didn't have that due to injuries. But he went from a high 4.5 yards per run in 2018 all the way down to just a 3.7 in 2019. This is going to be a pivotal year for Sony Michel. He needs to bring that up. He needs to show that he's worth that first round pick and that he can stay healthy. If he's not, what happens with him, we'll have to see, because essentially he was that cowbell running back, and if he's not able to build off of that and he proves that, look, the only way that I'm going to be a good running back is if I have elite blockers, then he's not going to be that cowbell running back anymore for the New England Patriots, and essentially he's not going to be with New England for much longer, whether that's after his contract is up or whether that's if the Patriots try to trade him and get some value out of him. We also have to remember that Sony Michel is not a versatile running back. He's really not versatile, period. And that's the thing that is going to hurt him compared to the other running backs the Patriots have. I mean, Lamar Miller is more versatile. You have Damien Harris more versatile, Rex Burkhead more versatile, James White more versatile, when Sony is really only able to do one thing. He doesn't have special teams ability. The Patriots have tried, especially last season, to get him more involved in the passing game, and Sony just does not have good hands as a receiver whatsoever, so that is still a work in progress. So really at this point, all he's bringing is the ability to be a running back, and if you're going to be subpar at that, you're not going to have a home much longer with the New England Patriots. It's going to be really interesting to see the outcome of Sony Michel because of his absence, guys like Rex Burkhead, but more importantly, Damien Harris have gotten a lot more opportunities, and Damien Harris is looking really good and has started to become the number 1 running back for the New England Patriots. So it's going to be interesting to see how Bill Belichick decides to divide up the running back group if, Sony Michel is still that cowbell running back, the number 1 go-to featured running back for the New England Patriots for the 2020 season. What does this mean, though, for a guy like Lamar Miller? Well, we'll just have to wait and see, but I think something we all have been saying is, look, it's going to be a race for both of those guys. A race as in who can get off the PUP list quicker. Is it Sony Michel? Is it Lamar Miller? Whoever is able to get off first could be running away with that role. And sadly, Lamar Miller kind of got beat there, and we don't know what's going on with him, when he'll be off. So that's kind of just a wait-and-see process also. But that is going to be it for today's video. Either way, it's good to have Sony off the PUP list and back with the New England Patriots, at least providing depth. But that's going to be it for today's video. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Let me know what you're thinking in the comment section below. Remember to give this video a big thumbs up, and remember to subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. But like always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video.